Hey guys, it's Doug. Welcome to Trick-or-Treatsville, my 2018 Halloween mini village display. I've been wanting to build a classic neighborhood display like this ever since I got into mini villaging a few years back, and I'm really excited it came together here, so let's talk about it, shall we? Now this sign here, by the way, this is done by Village Vignettes, my friend Mike, who he's on Instagram, he's on Etsy, that's where he sells his stuff, and Facebook as well. Village Vignettes does killer work, killer custom pieces like this billboard here, so check them out for sure. Now getting into the actual buildings here, this is the Department 56 Skeleton House. It's one of 3 Trick-or-Treat Lane series buildings you're going to see here in my display, and in my opinion, I have the 3 best ones, or at least they're my 3 favorite ones that are in here. So Skeleton House, the theme of that is it's pretty simple. House that's been decorated for skeletons, and I love the lighting on it. I've done a review of this piece, and actually in my display here I've done reviews of every building here except for 2 of them, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But yeah, Skeleton House is great. It has 2 accessories that are designed for it, and I'm using them here. This first one here, Trick-or-Treating on the Lane, it's just a standard a trick-or-treat figurine. This woman's dressed up like skeleton. She's handing out candy to the trick-or-treaters. It looks great with this. And then the really cool one is Scary Skeleton Stories. So the theme of this piece is, these 3 skeletons here. One of them has a flashlight under his head, and he's telling a scary story, presumably. And the other 2 here are, grasping onto each other. And this can kind of work one of 2 ways, really. It can either be, used as like a yard decoration. This is a scene somebody maybe set up. Or if you have a more, actual spooky haunted village where there are monsters all around, these could actually be skeletons. So I dig how it can go either way. So I'm using it, as more of the, a yard decoration type, but it's a great accessory. Now I have a sort of middle section here. I didn't want to just put buildings all over the place. Wanted to give a little bit of breathing room. This is sort of like a field that you'd find in a neighborhood, or maybe even like a cul-de-sac. When the trick-or-treaters are all mingling and everybody's moving around, the hustle and bustle. I wanted to kind of, give that feel here. So I'm using various Department 56 trick-or-treat figurines. And FYI, I'm not going to mention every piece here by name, the accessories go. If you're wanting to know anything, though, put it in the comments here below. I'll be happy to tell you what I'm using for everything here. So, again, this is my center section. And moving on over here, this is the Black Cat Flat, another one of the Trick-or-Treat Lane series houses from Department 56. Absolutely love this house. I'm actually using the gate as well that they sold this year. It was sold separately for it, and I thought it went very, very well with Black Cat Flat. Of course, those piercing green eyes and the orange glow, even though it doesn't have animated lighting, it's still phenomenal. So moving back here behind the Black Cat Flat, we have Spider House. Now this is the 3rd in the Trick-or-Treat Lane series. I have not done a review on this yet, and actually next to it here is a purple Twinkle Bright tree. I love the Department 56 Twinkle Brights. Anyways, Spider House. Spider House is what started the Trick-or-Treat Lane series back in, I believe it was 2012. It was the first house that was released. Very hard to get nowadays. And how I got mine's a funny story. It's a friend of mine who helped me out, and I'll tell that story whenever I do the actual review of this piece here. But Spider House is awesome. Absolutely love this one. I love the black lighting on it, and of course I love spiders. I've said before, I think spiders are probably the one traditional Halloween theme that neither of the companies have really mined that well. There are a couple buildings and accessories, but this is probably the most notable as far as straight up buildings go. And as you can see here, I actually added a couple little modifications to this. Not really modifications, but for this display here, I put a couple rubber spiders on top. I thought they looked, just like you would find a decoration, that they were scaled about appropriately. I just got a bag of spiders, and they look like someone would have put them on the roof here. But Spider House, great house if you can find it. I know it's tough to get, but it's awesome. All right, next to Spider House, I have a building that had eluded me for a long time. I just picked one up again about, 2-3 months ago. I have not talked about this on my channel. This was like one of my unicorn pieces along with Spider House. This is 1031 Trick-or-Treat Drive by Department 56. I absolutely adore this. This is one of the buildings that was apparently, sort of inspired the Trick-or-Treat Lane series. This came before it. It actually has sound that plays, and it's a multi-piece gift set. I kind of have the pieces scattered out here throughout the neighborhood. I will talk about this more in depth when I do a full review. I don't want to steal everything I'm going to say about it, but it was worth the wait for me. I absolutely love this piece, so of course it was going to be in this display. All right, and sitting next to that, my first Lemax building in the display here. This is Trick-or-Treat House, and I got this 2 years ago when it was a Michaels exclusive, and I have to say this building is really growing on me. The Lemax Trick-or-Treat houses, are great, and I hope next year they expand it, because it's been a couple years now since they've done a new one, this one being the last, and, I think this one looks great. It doesn't have a theme like, the Department 56 Trick-or-Treat Lane series houses all have sort of a theme. This is more of a general Halloween, but I love it. I love the ghosts on it, and very, very well detailed, and it blends in perfectly with this village. It is just standard lit, but it still looks great. All right, moving on down the lane here next to that, I have Hauntsburg House by Department 56, another great house. I've talked about this one in a review before, and I really, really loved it. I was excited to finally be able to incorporate this into a display. And this one here, I love how it has the pumpkins that look like they're, kind of lit, and like a flickering, because there's a flicker bulb inside of the house. And then there's, this like fiber optic LED tree outside. It looks great. And out front here, I have a specific accessory called Gathering Pumpkins by Department 56. This is an older one, and I love this because I love lawn tractors. I specifically love red wheel horse tractors. I've got one. My dad loves wheel horse tractors and always been working on them. So yes, lawn tractors are a little side hobby of mine. I love my wheel horse, and this reminded me of it. I love giving my kids tractor rides. I loved getting tractor rides as a kid. So whenever I saw a collector selling this piece, I had to nab it. It just, it really is nostalgic for me. All right, guys, we are in the back row of my display now, and I did the back row here specific for a reason. You can see here, this is the Hollograves Manor by Lemax. I just did a review of this, recently. This is a 2018 piece by, by Lemax, Spooky Town, and I wanted the whole back row here to be like legit haunted and scary. The front of the, the first couple layers of my display, those are the actual trick-or-treat houses. The back is like the haunted area, right? The really spooky stuff where the kids don't want to go. So yes, as you can see, I have the Hollograves Manor. Hollograves is awesome, so spooky with that pulsating light. And next to it, though, here, I actually have integrated these two trick-or-treat figurines by Lemax here. My daughter helped do this. One of them is actually on the house. She put it up there like they're exploring it because, again, this is a a house no one's living in. It's possessed, and it is for sale. So it reminds me of that old abandoned house at the end of a road. And next to it here, which kind of, it goes with that whole theme with the trick-or-treaters here, I have the Trick-or-Treater Eating Tree by Lemax, which is one of the coolest accessories either company's ever released. And it goes great back here with kind of the, the haunted nature of the house. And this little guy in the Dalmatian here, he looks scared while his friend is being eaten here, and his other friend is up, exploring the other house. But yeah, this tree, very spooky, very macabre. It's pretty striking. Obviously it's a tree eating a trick-or-treater, eating a kid with this dog, who's kind of, upset about it too. And it's just very spooky, very eerie. Absolutely love this piece. It is retired, but if you can ever get your hands on one, ever see it at a yard sale or something, pay for it. Amazing accessory, especially if you want to do a village like this, or even, you know, even just a monster neighborhood or something, it would work for that too, just because it is so scary. And next to that, I have another piece that's awesome by Lemax. This is a long retired piece. This is Nightmare on Oak Street. And again, I did a review on this one, and I love how striking the paint job here is. It reminds me of something out of a nightmare. Like, this would be how you would see a house in a nightmare, very distorted, you know, with the proportions, excuse me, exaggerated. And love like the pumpkin ghoul jumping out, great lighting on it. And I thought it fit great in the back here. And of course, I have my billboard here. This was done by Village Vignettes, as I mentioned at the front of this, you know, the beginning of this walkthrough. And what would a village of mine be if I didn't have my Department 56 water tower? Absolutely love, love, love this piece. I've talked about it. It's one of the, I think it's the only accessory on my channel that has a standalone video. And fantastic. Also on the back here, I have the caramel apple stand by Department 56. Absolutely love this piece. It's not very big, but it has fantastic lighting, very bright. And come on, the little girl, you know, selling the caramel apples. I mean, what's not to love there? Just screams fall, screams Halloween. All right, on to the last part of my village here, this back corner. This is where the legit spooky stuff is going down. I have my iron gate by Department 56. Absolutely love this gate. This was a gift that my mom got me a couple years back, and which makes it even more special to me. And I have it around the last house on the left by Lemax Spooky Town. And I can tell you, as far as my favorite Lemax buildings go, number one is probably Mad Pumpkin Patch, but my 1B is going to be this. I absolutely love this. It is a traditional haunted house with a ghost inside of it, ghost on the back, fantastic lighting. I've done a video review on this. You can check out the soundtrack and see more what I have to say about it, but absolutely love this piece. And it's great in the background here because of all the animation and everything it is. You know, in the back of the display, it still draws attention. And it reminds me, you know, especially with the gates around it, this is a very spooky house in the end of the neighborhood, a legit haunted one where no one wants to go in. And I also have the Hungry Tree House next to it by Lemax, which, you know, Department 56, their water tower, that is my favorite of their accessories. This is my favorite Lemax Halloween accessory, and I know others that share this with me. It's long retired. It can cost a fortune now if you can find it. Hungry Treehouse is amazing. It's the treehouse that come to life. I did a video that had this in it. It was in my Nightmare on Oak Street review. I kind of did a review of both of these pieces, both of those pieces together. Hungry Treehouse is phenomenal. I thought it, you know, it went very well with the theme back here. And then next to the house, I actually have the Department 56, this lit graveyard ghost, which this came out last year and I never got to use it in anything. And I also have the, you can see here, the spooked, the gravedigger. Also, I have him next to, you know, it looks like he's the fence there. And he's inside there, he's freaked out, he sees the ghost. And I love this little scene, you know, as it's arranged in there. The graveyard ghost is great. And this little white ghost in the back, actually my wife made that. Several of the pumpkins also used throughout my display, and little pieces my wife has made out of clay and painted. She loves doing that, so she assists when she can. If you see or noticed any of the bad looking pumpkins in this display, those are probably the ones that I made, because she makes fantastic stuff. So. And just a little bit on how I actually constructed my display. I had about 4 feet of width, so I wound up going with the 2x4 table that I got from Walmart. Now I had a little bit more depth though, you know, in my display, the area that I had, and I wanted, you know, some multi-tiered shelving basically, so everything wasn't just on flat ground. So I wound up making these shelves out of wood, and I know they look kind of weird. I did it this way because it's sort of modular. I can put various display bases on top. And I guess I should mention I use Lemax display bases. I pick mine up from Michael's every year. I get more and more, it seems like, as the years go by. But this lets me put various wires underneath it with no problem from the back of each layer. And it worked great. Not very fancy, but again, hey, it gets the job done, right? That's the important part of this. And for the background here, I should mention I got that from Landscape Displays. He specializes in, well, village platforms and also the backgrounds. He's got various backgrounds with different themes. This is perfect for a trick-or-treat village. I've had it for a while. You guys have seen this if you watch my channel. I've used it for various, you know, piece reviews, and really, really happy with it. So I'd recommend you go over to villagedisplays.com, see what he's got. All right, guys, that is my display. I am very happy you guys checked it out. I'm very happy that I have this on display now. I love the classic trick-or-treat village. This is what I've wanted to set up since I got into the hobby. I'm so happy I finally did. So thank you guys very much for watching. As always, thank you for the support. I'm really excited to keep going with this channel. It's been so much fun. And thank you for a great season here. It's been great talking about all these buildings. And just a quick plug here. If you want to stay in touch with me, I'm constantly posting on Instagram. Just look up Spooky Villages on Instagram. Of course, I'm on Facebook too, but I don't do as much there. So check me out on Instagram, Spooky Villages. Be happy to chat with you there. Always posting village stuff or Halloween stuff or candle stuff or really anything. So again, thank you guys for all the support, and I will see you next time.